people are mad because they're lonely.
Valentine's Day has come and gone, and I'm certain you watching this video fits into one of two categories. You were either making sure that your significant other was taken care of and loved and appreciated and cared for. Maybe you had a fancy picnic, maybe a night under the stars, maybe a romantic dinner, maybe some kinky love making, and you made sure that that day was very special for not just you, but your significant other, and I wish you absolute bliss in your relationship. Mwah! Or you're in the second category with me, alone on Valentine's Day. And I know it sucks. I know it's lonely. I know we're looking for love. Some of us are pining for love, but seeking it out of complete desperation will net you in the secret category, probably getting cheated on Valentine's Day, because let's be honest, seeking it out of desperation will always lead to a negative outcome that will leave you next year alone on Valentine's Day. So let's not do that, and let's be a little bit better in seeking genuine connection and understanding what we want and don't want in relationships. Speaking of which, I understand that in the Black community, there's this topic that gets discussed amongst all the single people, and it's called interracial dating, where a Black person dates someone outside of their race, and all the lonely people get really upset seeing people who are happy dating and being taken care of and loved, because that is kryptonite to a lonely person who is too selfish to understand that they're never going to be touched where they pee at, so they must make it everybody else's problem instead of going and looking into the mirror and self-reflecting and gaining some self-love and some self-respect and going out to, after achieving that, seeking connection with somebody out there who could absolutely love them. Yes, I'm tired of seeing you motherfuckers being that miserable, wanting other people to be miserable. But I saw this post from the New York Times go viral just a little bit, and I want to read it to you all because it is reeking of desperation to the highest fucking order. I'm a straight white dude and recent college grad who has very progressive beliefs and is looking for a committed partner who in time can equitably raise a family with me. I have almost zero honest to goodness physical preferences. I've dated women of various shapes and sizes, various skin, hair, and eye colors, etc. I have been attracted to them all. And you know what? That's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. You don't discriminate. You're just looking for love and you're trying to find genuine connection. And it doesn't matter if she's short, tall, fat, stubby, black, white, Asian. You're looking for love. That's a good start. Here's what's controversial among my friends. I want to prioritize dating women of color. I'm after a cross-cultural relationship. I believe very strongly that one of the main ways to combat racism is through relationships. Oh boy. Part of me thinks that I will always be somewhat disappointed if what ends up becoming one of the most important relationships in my life is with another white person. If someone is a woman of color that checks a box for me in a real way, I am seeking to be an anti-racist in all of my relationships. Part of the reason that I prioritize it is to combat implicit bias, having grown up in a fairly white, quasi-rural place. I am dedicated to educating myself on issues of racism, sexism, and other forms of hierarchy. I'm pretty sure I just butchered that, while also learning from marginalized people. From me, principles lead the way to attraction. I started by eating a food or adopting a habit because it's good for me. And after trying it enough times, I feel like I really like it for what it is. The same applies to people I'm considering dating. Both I and my hypothetical partner of color would be choosing more learning and less comfort, to put forth greater effort and practice more listening than we otherwise would in a culturally homogenous, committed relationship. And one of the main ways that I hope to combat racism individually is by leveraging my own privilege, economic, family connections, education for people of color, including any biracial children we bring into this world. Here's my question. Despite my well-meaning anti-racist principles, is this preference, as friends have suggested, wrong, insensitive, or somehow itself racist? And I do love the image being a white man giving a black woman a piece of the wedding cake. I do love that out of any way possible that people have come up with over these past number of years to defeat or combat racism, this is by far the most batshit insane. You mean to tell me you plan to help the fight against racism by just picking a random black woman who checks a box for you, nutting in her, and having having kids and giving them the opportunities of your secret white privilege. Boy, that's gonna pay dividends. No genuine connection, no actual love in it. There's just this hidden layer of, oh, well, I know my plans. I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an opportunity for my biracial children to get ahead in life because I don't think a fully black child could do it on their own. So let me help them by using one of the black women and nutting in the. That sounds fucking moronic. Especially, it's time to pull that pin out where we talk about interracial dating. The blacks do really well making sure that they don't want anyone dating outside of their race, especially a white individual. Why? Y'all heard about this story? This is why we shouldn't date outside our race, because evil people like Maxwell. Search the hashtag for the full story. First of all, bold of you. And this is what I despise about you collection of for the people individuals, because you suck. To the nth degree, you will always suck. Because y'all wanted to turn this into a race thing. I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. I shouldn't have even asked, but I did. Because I thought for once, at some point, the internet would come together and choose to not make this about, oh, dating outside the race. Oh, you should make sure that you date with inside the race. Because you fucking idiots who will sit here and try to pretend that maybe, just maybe, it's always gonna be the interracial dating that's the problem. No.
One, I clearly blame this on divestors and swirlers. So you get the women that come on here who are all day about the white man's ice is colder and better. And these black women run out with the first white man and shit like this happens. Because you got to convince that it's going to be that much better. You don't properly vet. And you make, unfortunately, careless mistakes.
This dumbass almost hit the home run. All he had to do was not make it about divestors and a bunch of people telling these black women that they could go date a white person. It would be so much better. If you didn't add that stupid part, you would have been somebody I could agree with. But because your little personal fifis get hurt and you see these black women happier with people that aren't your sad ass, you got to make it seem like, oh, it's a careless mistake to listen to a bunch of people and believing that other people would be better as dating options. And guess what? Here's the unfortunate part for you lonely, low-life losers. They're right. In certain scenarios, somebody would be a better option as opposed to you. Because look at you. You sitting here trying to word salad your way around blaming this woman because she decided to go out and date a white guy. If I were a woman and I was having my clit desperate to be found, I wouldn't want to date you if you are going to victim blame to that shitty fucking degree.
All we hear about is you're dating a black man. He's got to do all of this stuff. He has to do... He's got to spend $500 on dinner. He's got to do this. He's got to do that. And you're still not going home with him.
I want y'all to really understand. This is what it sounds like to be a hurt male. He will sit up here and talk about all these things that a black man could do on the first date, and the woman still won't go home. And she went home with this man, this white man, and oh my God, this is not fair. This is not right. You could have hit the most drastic bullet point about trusting in strangers, but instead you wanted to bring in your hurt feelings and you wanted to make it seem like, oh my God, the poor African-American man, he does so much work to try to get a date. No woman wants to go home on the first date and fuck him. How did this woman go on the first date with him? Oh my God, what does he have that I know? You hurt child. Give it up. You're not making a strong point here. You sound like a bitch. And it don't help that you speaking on this because you're not making no good point. You just a hurt bitch trying to sound smart.
No vetting, no figuring out, getting to know anybody in any way, shape, or form like you would with a black person, black man. And this shit happens. Like, again, these swirlers and divestors have this idealized vision of what white men are, and they're 99 miles away from right. Y'all let y'all guard down, y'all make reckless mistakes.
Now, there are still people out there who do because they don't care. They're looking for love and they're gonna go where they're loved and not where they're hated because there are people who don't really show favor to individuals of the same skin color. So they're gonna step outside of their ways, whether it be black, white, Asian, black, Asian. It don't matter. People are going where they're loved because that's what's important, not some secret agenda to fight back against the patriarchy. They're seeking connection. They're seeking comfort. They're seeking compassion. They are seeking, say it with me now, L-O-V-E, love. And if they're not getting it in-house, they're going to step outside of their house and they're going to go find something, because people really do, despite what podcasters will tell you, really value love, from friendships to relationships, whether it be with a significant other or family. And when they're not getting it one place, they're going to find it another place. This is batshit insane. This does not seem like someone who is genuine in looking for love. This is somebody who wants to believe that they're evil all the time because of their skin color, and they're desperate to try to get somebody off their back. And they think just harboring these feelings of wanting to fight back against the patriarchy by nutting in a black woman is going to make it all go away. No, it's not. And to voice this opinion out loud, yeah, you're pretty fucking stupid for that and inconsiderate of another human being. Because in a scenario where a woman is out looking for love and she matches with you on Tinder, on Bumble, or she meets you at a bar, y'all talk, and she's getting the vibe that you're being genuine and you're speaking truth to power, and you might be the man for her, but you're not going to out loud, because I don't know who in their right mind would say this shit and think they're gonna get laid after, say, hey, my plan is to combat racism by having biracial children. Do you wanna make that happen? You see how batshit insane I sound? That's how this person sounds like typing this up, thinking, hey, you know, my friends are kind of giving me shit for this. Do you think I'm actually insane for this? Yes, you are. Reading this entire thing reminded me of that one woman who tried her damnedest to try to stick up for black men who were being fetishized by white women, and she wanted to make a valid point, but she didn't really know how to hit the home run, and the consequences of that were hilarious.
Stop fetishizing black men. Like, I'm so tired of seeing you fucking snow roaches fetishizing black men. Like, not once in that fucking video did you say how a black man makes you feel, that you feel comfortable around a black man, or that you even remotely feel loved by a black man. But no, it was all the things that they do sexually for you. And don't even get me started on your little fucking fake black sin. Babe, I got so much more to say. Come back for part 2. It's the fact that I've been on this fucking planet for 22 fucking years and have been called everything under the fucking sun. But never have I had someone call me a fucking porch monkey.
And it was so baffling reading through this, I had to contact a black woman to see if I was the misogynist who didn't understand the plight of black women and what turns them on and turns them off. So I called Moral and I asked her if a white guy saying something like this would be a turn off or a turn on. And she says, yes, it's definitely a turn off, because it almost would seem like a fetish low key. And maybe his heart is in the right place, but you shouldn't date someone to combat some political reasoning. Because does that mean if racism wasn't a thing, would you still want to date a black woman? The most disrespected group, shout out to Moral, in American history. It would be the same if, as a black woman, I only dated white men or exclusively dated white men to seem more inclusive instead of being genuinely attracted to that person. And that seemingly is the right way to look at this, because why are you so focused on trying to make this a political reason? Wouldn't you want to date them because you're genuinely connected to them, that you're genuinely attracted to them, that you potentially see a future with them? Why is it that you are so focused on this implicit bias that you want to combat and anti-racism that you want to fight against? There are people who expect white women to pay $700 fucking to learn how to dismantle their racism by just being bitched at 24/7 at a fucking dinner table. There are ways that are to combat racism that are stupid. This has got to be top tier, because it's not seemingly coming across as genuine. It's coming off as you just want to jerk it or bust a nut into a black woman, because there's not really any love in this. It's more like scientific lust, which is worse than actually just beating your own meat, because you're not considering how someone else could feel knowing that you're seeking to just combat anti-racism. You're seeking to prove that your white privilege is the detriment of society. You're not looking to actually raise a family. You're looking for a science project. And if you're truly looking for a science project, I got one for you. See how fast your nut dries up on a bed sheet, because with this line of thinking, that's what you're going to be doing until your dying days, or until it doesn't get up anymore, because you are going to have erectile dysfunction. clearly at a young age. And to everybody else, I just want to say love is a beautiful thing. Even if you're not looking for it romantically, in friendships, in family, in random strangers, it is amazing. Don't let these people who are miserable or scientifically looking for lust distract you from how beautiful love truly is. It is amazing, and I hope you all find it in the various ways that it exists, from self-love to people outside loving you. I hope you find it, and if you're looking for love, I hope next year you're in a romantic relationship going above and beyond on Valentine's Day, or someone's going above and beyond for you. And I think that is the most positive way I could end this video. So how about it? Let's just end it like that. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Mwah. I'm going to go test that scientific drying up on a bedsheet thing. I know I was supposed to end it wholesome, but I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Goodbye.